13th. I'm Adam, and this is your daily dose of today. Yesterday was Mother's Day, so if you are a mother, then I hope you had a great day yesterday. I hope you got to spend time with your kids, your grandkids, whomever, at least got a phone call, spend maybe some video time with them. It's a brave new world out there today, and for all of you that have mothers still living, I hope that you made the time to go see them, express your appreciation to them. I want to continue a discussion I started on Saturday about my experience with the Buddhist monk. And it really was a great experience. But one thing in particular, we focused a lot on self-awareness and mindfulness, which those were great sessions. Really love those. And so Bhante J, if you're actually happen to be watching this, then thanks. I had a lot of fun. And I learned a lot. But he said something that really crystallized something that I've been trying to get across to you guys in the last couple weeks with my focus on self-awareness and on precision. And I'm sure I'll butcher it, but effectively what he said was, you can't adequately judge others if you're not able to judge yourself. And he didn't use those exact words, but what he was basically trying to say, paraphrasing, was that we often see the problem in others, which is what I've been talking about several times over the last couple weeks, about why people aggravate you or why you have a dysfunctional relationship with somebody, and that really you always look at them and what's wrong with them. But how can you tell what's wrong with them if you're not actually aware, if you're not aware of yourself? So obviously part of that can be if you're not aware of what's wrong with yourself, but how can you actually be aware of what's wrong with somebody else if you're not actually aware of yourself, the good and the bad, right? Because no matter what you feel about some person, and no matter what they've done that might seem so concrete to you, that's absolutely right, that's absolutely wrong, that is only from the basis of where you stand. Like if you think back through history, there's things that we think are wrong today that we know, and unequivocally, nobody would argue that are wrong. That if you go back to 200 years ago, 400 years ago, that people would say there's nothing wrong with it. You say, oh, they were just barbarians. And so, well, the next generation that comes after us and their generation, they'll think we're complete idiots and barbarians too. It's true. And you think 200 years from now, they won't look at us and think we're a bunch of idiots? It'll happen. I mean, that's our nature, right? We always think we're smarter than the last people. Hopefully we are. That's not always the case. Sometimes we go backwards, right? But what was interesting was when we put that, it crystallized for me, like, yes, this is what I've been talking about. And if we practice, of course, they call it mindfulness, and they have a whole practice around it, which, again, I felt empowered from. I really gained a lot from it. I'm not a Buddhist, but there were so many great techniques and things that I learned from there from meditation. It was fantastic. But only through being self-aware and being aware of yourself can you actually not only judge others, but judge your own success in life. Be able to actually move. We are so focused on the external. But remember, the external is all in relation to what? This. Specifically this. Everything externally that you think, oh, this thing's happening to me, or I'm going to do this thing. It's all from the centered position of you. And unless you are actually self-aware, then you have no basis from where that starting point really is. You might think you're way over here. But in truth be told, you might think you're starting from way up here. But from truth be told, you're starting from way back there. You're like you might be 5 years from where you think you're starting in terms of maturity, in terms of readiness. But and likewise, some of you that have a negative self-image because you don't have true awareness, that have a negative self-image, you might think, oh, there's no way I need another 3 or 4 years before I'm ready. But you are ready right now. But because of your negative self-image, because of your false self-image, you don't understand where you truly stand. And so, obviously, I'm teasing a lot more out of that because he didn't wax into the success piece that I'm talking about. But I thought it's so true. And I really appreciate the time I got to spend with him because he did crystallize that for me, something I've been trying to get across to you guys. And that is by focusing. What did I call it? Like self-inventory, right? Inward reflection, self-perception, self-awareness. By gaining that, that's a sign of wisdom. By looking at that and seeing your own faults, what could I control in this situation? What could I do in this situation? In other words, what am I going to do about it today? Start where you are. I'm not saying you have to start meditating, though I'm not advocating against it. But you know what? You need to pause, reflect, and look at yourself as the center, as the locus for all these things happening, and then say, what is my part in all these things? Through that, taking that time and understanding, you will gain wisdom, and gaining that wisdom will help you become more successful. I can tell you, otherwise you're your own worst enemy. And I'm telling you that, not cut from a book. I'm telling you that from personal experience. This has been your Daily Dose of Today.